Welcome to the Morikami Museum and Japanese Gardens that includes 200 acres of non-stop beautiful landscapes. Let's go check it out.
We're at the Morikami Museum and Japanese Gardens, right in the heart of the outside of Delray Beach, Florida. And we are on 200 acres, 17 of which are formally manicured. We have 17 distinct period Japanese gardens, and people come here almost as a staycation to really get a taste of Japan. We're completely Japanese authentic. And so when visitors arrive, over the course of the year, there's 2 to 3 changing, rotating exhibitions in our main museum, as well as the 6 distinct period gardens. Our main original Japanese museum is still on our property. In addition, we have our Oki Education Building. We have 3 major festivals each year, which bring in a variety of people. We celebrate authentic Japanese events as well as some of our own. So there's a variety of things to see and do when visitors join us here at the Morikami. We have 3 distinct waterfall areas. We also have 6 distinct period gardens where people can understand the Japanese history and see the different phases that Japanese gardens actually went through. We use our 3 major elements, the rocks, the boulders. They're incorporated not only in the gardens and in the waterfall and the pebble pathways, which we encourage people to slow down as opposed to a lot of asphalt and hard surface use. We have the water element as well, and we have the very, very specific garden periods that Japan saw themselves evolving through in the gardens as well. So we have all the native wildlife that was native to this area from the time of our inception here. We have native Florida bobcat, we have all sorts of wildlife such as the koi in our lakes and the tilapia and all varieties of turtles, and people will spot everything from bunnies to snakes to alligators to otters. So it's a whole wildlife experience. In addition, we have people that come in all sorts of weather, beautiful sunny days like it is right now, to overcast days, to days when it's raining. People enjoy seeing the garden in that type of light. Each weather source is a different form of light on the garden, and people appreciate seeing it in all those different lights as well. We're very fortunate being owned and operated by Palm Beach County. We're considered one of the gems of our community, and we're very fortunate because we're unique in as much as we are focused on 100% of Japanese culture and history, and we feel that people coming to our experience can walk away with something extremely unique. We are not only unique to Palm Beach County, the state of Florida, as well as the nation, because we are 110% focused on Japanese culture and history. So I am encouraging not only our local residents, but our guests and our tourists to Palm Beach County to come to the Morikami Museum and Japanese Gardens and visit us. And not only say that they came once many years ago, but return, because our experience always changes. The Morikami Museum and Japanese Gardens is truly a little wonder of the Palm Beaches.
So I am the garden curator here at the Morikami Museum and Japanese Gardens, and what that means is I'm responsible for fostering our 16 acres of beautiful Japanese gardens. Japanese gardens historically are a really nice way for people to experience mindfulness and peacefulness and serenity, and I'm responsible for carrying out that vision. As you can see, this is a very highly maintained garden. Things are pruned in a very specific way, but you'll see things like you see here, which is a nice branch pad structure in a cloud layering. This is pretty standard in not only Japanese garden, but also things that people are more familiar with, like bonsai. The difference between that and Japanese gardening is that these are literally in the ground. So although we maintain and control everything, it's man's control over these types of landscapes that really give everybody that feeling of man's presence in the gardens. So So we have 6 different historical periods that we go through, beginning with the Shinden Islands and then into our bamboo grove, then following through to our Paradise Garden. We have 2 Zen gardens or Karen Sensui gardens that people usually associate Japanese gardens with. We have our Late Rock Garden and our Flat Garden, moving into our modern romantic garden, which is the most contemporary, and then back through to our museum, passing Rocky Point. In the center of our property, we have the Yamato-kan, which is our smaller museum, our original museum, and that holds currently our Japan Through the Eyes of a Child exhibit. We mostly have people that come here and they're trying to escape their busyness of their daily lives in the concrete jungle, if you will. So especially here in South Florida, we're very busy, we're very developed, and this is kind of that peaceful serenity spot that people will come to get their mind away from the busyness of their regular lives. And you can come here and listen with your eyes and hear with your senses and really just enjoy the quiet, the peacefulness, while maybe hearing a bird in the background or the clacking of the blowing bamboo in the wind, a peaceful waterfall, maybe followed by a slight fragrance of a flower that you're walking by. But that's really the true essence of a Japanese garden, is taking that moment that you're here to really enjoy that moment to its fullest and trying to forget and let all of the busyness of your life kind of melt away and give you that nice mindfulness of how you're walking and what you're seeing, and it just kind of quiets the mind and quiets everything and gives you that strength again to face the busyness of your life. I've lived in Palm Beach County for over 20 years now, and I've got to say, from somebody who is, considered a snowbird, I guess, if you will, who moved from New Jersey, this is a very, very beautiful place. It has a lot to offer, and I'm very, very proud to offer this peace and serenity to the people who live and visit Palm Beach County. So this is what's known as the Bamboo Grove, and this is a favorite amongst visitors just because it's a nice quiet place where you can sit and listen to that kind of signature like clacking of the bamboo like hitting each other in the wind and the leaves kind of blowing. So we have nice areas here, a couple benches here that people can kind of sit and just kind of contemplate, also with the Yamato-kan also in the background. It's a signature spot for us. Water is very important in Japanese culture, as we can see in some of their cultural practices like tea ceremony and sukubai, or the purification process. So typically a sukubai is outside a home and it looks like a stone basin with a small piece of bamboo where the folks would then roll up their sleeves and wash their hands and purify themselves before entering either the tea house or someone's residence. So in the Japanese garden, the waterfalls are seen in many different ways, but it adds that layer of kind of refreshment, which is seen in many different forms. It can be seen in a waterfall, or maybe in a babbling creek, or even in our Karen Sensui or our dry gardens. The rocks that are raked often are to signify water in small ponds or things like that. It just adds that other dynamic also in the auditory, or as you're walking around and you're kind of noticing everything, that rushing sound kind of tends to kind of purify your soul and kind of muddle all the crazy thoughts that might be going through your head at the time. So it's meant to be a really restorational element in the garden.
Well, I will really look at waterfalls in a totally new perspective now.